You're now watching the Mike Missanelli podcast on the BetRivers Network.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Mike Missanelli podcast. Our last podcast was yesterday, and we saved the prognostication part for today. As you're going into the weekend, you're starting to think about putting your bets on the AFC and the NFC title game, because for Philadelphia Eagle fans, it's all about that, right? I mean, we just went through a press conference that said kind of nothing, and they hired Vic Fangio and all that. But nobody's really paying attention to the football games, except if you're a betting man. Now, people will watch the games, don't get me wrong, but Philadelphia Eagle fans only have one thing left to do, and that's bet. And so we're going to try to give you our insights on who you should bet, our selections, and we're going to go over some prop bets as well today. Two very intriguing games, and I like both favorites. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to bury the lead here. Let's talk about the NFC title game. I think the 49ers are kind of laying low. They got, they sleepwalked a little bit through that first game off of their bye. So I think that they'll be really geared up to play at home, and I think the line reflects it. That game, of course, is going to be an 6:30 game on Fox on Sunday. And right now, San Francisco is favored by 7 points. I have to tick down a little bit from 7.5. So there's some Lions money coming in. But I do not see the Lions covering in this game. I think the 49ers. Now, it depends. I hate to put a caveat in here, but if Deebo Samuel doesn't play, the Lions cover. If Deebo Samuel plays and he's 100%, I think the 49ers will cover. So you're going to have to wait until game time before you place that bet, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm going to do. If Deebo Samuel plays, then I think the 49ers roll. If he doesn't play, I think it'll be a game like last week where they're just going to have to nudge their way up in front against the Lions. But I always look at the defensive teams when it comes to this part. I look at a team that can stop the other team as having the edge. And the Lions are 23rd defensively. And the 49ers are a much better defensive team. They're home. I know a lot of people don't love Brock Purdy, but I believe they're going to really get some pressure on Goff. I think he's going to give it up back in his home environs. He's from that area, of course, went to Cal, but I don't think this is a good spot for him. So I'm going to take the 49ers with the caveat if Deebo Samuel plays. If he doesn't play, I'm flipping over to the 49ers. All right, let's look at the AFC game, which is probably a better matchup, and that's the 3 o'clock game, Chiefs at the Ravens. There's all kinds of ways you can go with this kind of a game. Now, the line right now is 4. Baltimore by 4. I like it. I'm going to tell you right now, I like the -4 with the Ravens because I think the Chiefs have been on borrowed time. They've played well. They got the sensational quarterback. They've been there before. But going into the Ravens with that defense against Patrick Mahomes, I think they're going to be able to make some noise against them. The other thing is the Kansas City Chiefs are kind of susceptible to tight ends. And the Ravens use a lot of 12 personnel. They use a couple of tight ends. Mark Andrews is going to be back in this game. That gives them an edge also in their running game. And, of course, the X factor is Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's the type of guy who can bust you open by dashing out of the pocket and getting you 20 yards. So I like the Ravens to win the game. I'm gonna actually play the Chiefs +4. All right, I think the Ravens will win the game. In fact, I would put a ton on the money line with the Ravens.
Wait a minute.
And
I say you like Baltimore -4.
I thought I did, but now I don't. So
wait, did you flip
I think
the last 4 minutes of the podcast?
Yeah, I didn't want to give you that impression that I was betting the Ravens. I like them to win the game is what I meant. I don't think they're going to lose this game. But when I look at the 4, I go, the Kansas City Chiefs are hairy. They'll hang around. They make it a backdoor cover, get fairly close. So I'll take the Ravens to win. My play would be the Ravens money line, a ton on it. Right, that's be my play. We'll get to the props in a second. I almost want to eliminate the point spread in this game, and I think it's -200 to bet the Ravens on the money line. To me, that's worth it. To me, that's a line that's worth it. If you throw $200 on that and you get 100 back, I think that's the play rather than worry about these damn points. But again, I like San Francisco at the points if Deebo plays. Is that clear enough for you, Darren, or is that convoluted? Pretty convoluted. But go ahead with your opinions.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I wish Dutch were barking, my dog Dutch, who you know and love. I wish he were here barking. So I'm going to bark for him, and not like a seal yesterday when I had no voice. I'm going to bark like a dog. Roof! Because I love both dogs. In fact, I got to look right here. So the money line on both dogs, I think there is a serious chance that both dogs will win. What is it, Mike? What's the word? You want to say it?
Outright?
Outright. I like the Chiefs not only to cover the 4 or 3.5. They're a plus 163 on the money line, which is not bad for a road dog. And the Lions are plus 275. I love them to cover the 7. And I'm going to tell you, there is a good chance at plus 275 on the money line. I really do. I think they both dogs have a legitimate chance. The AFC title game to me is a mirror game. Both teams play great defense, get real good use out of the tight ends. Mark Andrews is back for the Ravens. You know who Travis Kelce is. They both run the ball well, and they both have electric quarterbacks, and neither team has any wideout that you really prepare for. Very much a mirror game. So like you, I like the Chiefs to cover that number in the AFC Championship.
All right, let me just
I'm
throw
on the
this
other side of you with Detroit.
Let me throw this nugget of knowledge in here. The Chiefs against Josh Allen last week, defending him they weren't very good. Josh Allen had 12 carries for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs in the past 2 years are the 5th worst team in defensive EPA against quarterback runs and scrambles. That's a major factor in this game.
That's a good number.
It's a major factor, which is where I'm like wobbling. I think the Ravens are the better team. They have the edge in a lot of categories, especially because they're home. So I don't think that Chiefs are going to win this game. And I certainly don't think the Detroit Lions have a chance to win that game. Can they cover? I guess. But I'm going to settle in. I'm taking the 49ers to cover with Debo again. And I'm going to take the Chiefs with the 4, but they won't win the game. I think we're going to see a 49ers-Ravens Super Bowl. I think they're the 2 best teams in the league. And for once, we got the right outcome for a Super Bowl.
The one factor that scares me a little bit, if you're just one of those people that wants to take the points, usually in big games, Mike, you know this as well as anybody. Normally in big games like this, AFC, NFC Championship game, the Super Bowl, the line goes out the window. You pick the better team. The better team is they're going to win and they're going to cover or whatever. That said, oof. I like the dogs on Sunday.
All right.
I really do.
I see. I don't think the 49ers know they didn't play that well last week. And I think that there was a slog because of a bye week. I think bye week sometimes can really hurt you and your routine and your ability to be on all cylinders. And I think they've gotten that out of their system. So I expect that if Deebo Samuel's plays, they cover the 7. All right, let's get into some prop bets here. These are always fun for the people on our BetRivers prop bet form here. We've got a lot of prop bets. Again, the spread -4 Ravens, Chiefs at Ravens, money line -200 for the Ravens. That's exactly what I would play. I know it's expensive for a lot of people. You're not going to win that much money at -200, but I don't think you can lose. I love the bets that I have a really good chance of winning where I don't have to sweat out a point spread. So I think the Ravens are going to win that. I think -200 is a good call. The over-under, which I don't play at all because I have no feel for it. It's like spinning a wheel on the boardwalk in Wildwood. 44.5 is the over-under. Darren, do you like the 44.5 under over?
Boy, that's a low number. I would. Where did you go over-under there? You went under? Oh, you don't play
No, I don't play it.
You're a no
I don't play over-under. I have no opinion on over-under.
I don't have a feel on either game's over-under, to be honest with you. If I had to play any of them, gun to my head, I would take the over in the Detroit-San Francisco NFC Championship game. But I really don't have any feel on the AFC Championship game on the total.
All right. Let's get into some player props. Anytime touchdown scorer. You got Lamar Jackson at -127. Travis Kelce at -103. Isaiah Pacheco +108. Gus Edwards +112. Rashee Rice +133. Zay Flowers 185. And Mark Andrews +188. Did any of those appeal to you?
Definitely. Mark Andrews +188. That's good value right there. He's back. He's an integral part to the Baltimore offense. He's back. They could have brought him back last week. They waited to this week till he's 100%. I think that's a strong value at +188. If you're looking for something safe, I mean, how do you not take Kelce at plus?
Yeah, I'm not taking Kelce. I'm taking Isaiah Pacheco at +108. I think that's a real good value. They get close.
That's a good value too.
I'll play that. Isaiah Pacheco, anytime touchdown score, +108. All right, passing props. Mahomes at 241.5 over under.
Ooh, don't like it. I'm gonna go under. That Baltimore defense. I don't think the Chiefs are going to light up the scoreboard for sure. Even as much as I like them, I don't think they're going to light it up. So I would go under.
Okay. I would not play. I have no feel for that, but I will take Lamar Jackson under 208.5 passing yards because Spagnola's defensive backs are really good. Unless he busts a big play to Zay Flowers to get him 70-some yards, I don't think he's going. So I'll go under. I'll play the under for Lamar Jackson at 208.5.
I mean, if I had to, I would do that too, only because and Jackson played phenomenal last week. His record in postseason games is not exactly, from a passing perspective, something that, lights it up.
All right, you're losing your voice again. So let's go. Let's quicken it up. Let's go rushing props. Lamar Jackson, rushing yards, 65.5 over under.
Ooh. Oh, man. Lamar Jackson rushing. You know what? That's an over. I would bet that over. I think you're going to see a lot of yardage in this game on the ground.
Too easy to go over at that number. so I'm going under. That's the Missanelli theory. When it's too easy, you go the opposite way. So I'll take Lamar under 65.5. Receiving props, Kelce, 62.5 receiving yards. Mark Andrews, 35.5 receiving yards.
Like them both. This is a tight end game. Like I said earlier, these are mirror teams, and both offenses get their majority of their production out of the run game and the tight ends through the air.
All right, but I'm not going Mark Andrews. You're a little too high on Mark Andrews coming back from injury in this game. The fact that they set the line at 35.5 is telling me something. So I would go under 35.5, and I would go over 62.5 for Travis Kelce. We'll see how that works out. All right, Lions at the 49ers. The 49ers money line, astronomical at -360. And see, to me, the only thing you can do here is either take the money or take the points or not take the points. So I would never bet that money line that high. You like the Lions +275. You're going to put a couple shekels on that.
That's a good value.
Yeah, Lions
good value.
Lions don't. That's like throwing away your money. It's like opening your car window and throwing the Ulysses S. Grants out the window, betting the Lions to win. 49ers, again, -7. I think the 49ers is a double digit if Debo plays. So I will play the 49ers -7, depending if Debo plays. I'm not touching the money line on either. The over-under is 51.5. These two teams can score a little bit. I like the over there.
I do too. If I'm playing any total, you hear Dutch in the background. Woo, woo, woo. Dogs this weekend. If I'm playing a total on Sunday, it's the Detroit, San Francisco over. You tell them, Dutch. All
right, anytime touchdown scorer, you're not going to win 3 cents on Christian McCaffrey. He's -560. Brandon Ayuk, -110. Kittle, +102. Amon-Ra St. Brown, +108. Debo, +114. Jahmyr Gibbs, +130. Sammy Laporta at +140, which I think is a good one. And David Montgomery, +145. Where are you going?
You just like saying Laporta. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs is good value at +130 anytime score.
Jahmyr Gibbs at +130. Yeah, I don't see that at all. I will take. There's only one play to me for that. Anytime touchdown score, I got Sam Laporte at plus 140. I think they're going to have to get the tight end involved there to score. Passing props: Brock Purdy plus, 278.5, 278.5 yards. Jared Goff 256.5 over under.
I think Goff has the better chance of going over. San Francisco is going to lean on McCaffrey a lot.
Okay.
So if I had to pick an over-under on passing,
you'll take Jared Goff at 256.5.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I would go over with Jared Goff.
I do not have a play on the passing props. Let's go to rushing props. Christian McCaffrey, 87.5.
Oh, my God. If I don't like any three of these guys. You got Jahmyr Gibbs over under 47.5, Montgomery over 43.5. One of those Detroit backs will probably go over. But I don't like any three of them. But a gun to my head, I think McCaffrey. I think they're going to lean on him all day on Sunday. So if I had to, I would go over.
You're going to go over the 87.5 for McCaffrey. Probably a good play, but I'm going to make a surprise play here. I think David Montgomery is kind of a forgotten man. And I think he's going to bust a 30-yarder, which would make up most of the rushing total here at 43.5. I think David Montgomery over is the play in this game.
Yeah, I think one of those Detroit backs goes over.
I don't think it's going to be Gibbs. I think it's going to be keyed up for Gibbs. I think Montgomery's going to slide through the cracks. All right, receiving props. There's our last bet for this podcast, Mike Missanelli podcast, brought to you by BetRivers, as we're looking at the Rush Street Interactive BetRivers props. Receiving props, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a big number, 85.5 receiving yards over under.
I mean, the weak point of any unit for San Francisco is their defensive backs. So that's probably a decent play. The one I like the most is George Kittle over 61.5 yards. I think he'll have another big game.
And I got another under the radar play. Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk, 80.5 is the number. I'm going, whoa. They're really expecting him to have a big game. So that tells me over. I think Ayuk on fire is going to get over the 80.5.
Especially if Debo plays, because Debo commands two guys.
It could be a hunch for Ayuk in this game. All right, that's going to conclude it. This is our special betting podcast because we have nothing else here in Philly to root for except the betting totals. And again, I will take the Chiefs to cover to 4. I don't think they win the game, though, so I'm a money line player with the Ravens at minus 200, and I'll take the 49ers with Debo to cover the 7. And, of course, you heard all our little prop bets. All right, for Darren, this is Mike, and this was our special BetRivers betting podcast on a Friday. Good luck when you put the money down. Good luck with the shekels. What's that?
Good luck, everyone. I said, woof, woof, go Dogs.
Oh, yeah, go Dogs.
Love the Dogs.
Taking Detroit to win. That's the worst selection I've ever heard. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will talk to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.